Everyone showed up today.
I know.
Everyone's hair looks so good.
It's Monday or Tuesday after the start of the new year.
That's right.
I know, Kristen, your hair looks amazing. Like,
Thank you.
wow. I was just like, I gotta go for a minute.
Well, I can't take the credit. My sister-in-law cut it, but I will tell you, I bought the Dyson straightener. That thing is insane. And it's cordless, which is even better. So you don't get all tangled up in the cord while you're straightening your hair.
Yeah.
That's the tip for today.
All right. Well, see you later.
The guys could care less.
I'm gonna write that down for my.
Patrick's gonna take that one to the bank.
Yeah, right, exactly. The Dyson what?
Flat iron. I bought the dryer too. That thing's amazing. It dries your hair like less than half the time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's pretty sick.
Yeah. The struggle is real.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, we'll wait another minute, even though it's 9 and I like to start on time.
Are you laughing at me?
Yeah. What was that laugh? I was like,
Yeah, it was
Oh my God.
struggle is real laugh. So, hey, did you guys, I gotta get this out of my system. So I'm like an 80s nerd. I love, all that, all the stuff from the 80s.
80s on 8.
80s on 8, right? And which I listen to all the time. So do you guys remember Tanya Roberts? Like there was like Tawny Katane, right? And then, Tanya Roberts was like maybe she cracked the top 20 as far as like 80s vixens go, right? So yesterday I wake up to the headline that Tanya Roberts is dead. And I was like, oh, that's sad. And I texted it to my cousin and all that stuff who we reminisce about this stuff together. And then, so it was rolled out by her publicist. Her husband announced she was dead. And then in the afternoon, they announced that she's not quite dead yet. She's not dead. I mean, she's probably not registering for the Boston Marathon in the spring, but I mean, she's still alive. So Tawny Katane is still alive.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like in the hospital or something?
Yeah, and I guess, she wasn't doing, I'm laughing about it, but it's not funny, but this is like totally, this is something I would do, like, and probably most people's husbands would do on this call. So the story legitimately is husband's at her bedside, things aren't going well. She takes a deep breath, she closes her eyes.
And he's like, well.
Yeah, that's right. And he's like, all right, I'm out, she's dead. And she wasn't, she just went to sleep or something or passed out.
He's like, oh, the game's on, so.
Yeah.
That is why my sister-in-law is my healthcare proxy and not my husband.
God bless you, Kristen. Smart woman.
My mom is mine.
My sister is mine.
There you go. Right. Awesome. All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yay. Wow. 2021. This is amazing. So we figured we'd start out with mindset so we can get in the right frame of mind to tackle this year. What do you think?
I love it.
Right? Awesome. Because we all know that our business is 90% mindset. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
That doesn't mean, though, that we just say, oh, my God, I'm so successful and everything's great, and then do nothing. Right?
Very tempting.
Right. Exactly. As much as I try, it does not work. So, we have to, have action to what we're doing. We still have to follow through with, what our goal is and what we need to do. So my first question is, does your mindset align with your goals? Figured I'd go deep.
It should.
It should. Does it?
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, what is your business goal or your health goal, whatever it is? And does your mindset equal that? Like, are you saying, oh, I want to do 100 transactions, but then you're like, oh, I can't even get any listings and I can't even close one deal, and have that negative mindset? That doesn't really equal out, right? So what do you do to, get in a more positive mindset? Do you think about it at all?
Doing things like this here.
Yeah.
Participating with other like-minded people, whether that's in the office, whether that's on Zoom, getting together with people, staying positive, all those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who you're hanging around with. That was one of the things we're going to talk about. That's a big thing, right, Patrick?
Sure, huge.
Yeah. What else do you guys do? Do you read books? Do you watch YouTube videos?
I mean, that's where coaching too, is big. I mean, I know you got coaching through the core changed my career, changed my life.
Mhm.
I'm still not a perfect student, but what I'm doing now compared to what, the way I was doing things before, which was pretty good, is just a game changer. And I need that coaching. Just when I start to think to myself, like, it's the same message over and over again. I've been doing this for 6 years. I know it. Something comes up that, that I really needed. And that's a game changer, and it keeps me in it,
So coaching, accountability, have an accountability partner just to get you out of the rut sometimes, because we all fall back into, negative mindset sometimes, right?
all the time.
Yeah. We reading any books?
Yep,
What are you reading?
the one you told me to buy,
Which one?
Millionaire Real Estate Investor.
Okay, yep. Awesome. The Magic of Thinking Big is an amazing book. I suggest you get it and read it. I mean, I bought it years and years ago, and I actually, it's so good that I've read it like 3 times so far. And I bought 15 of them for my nieces and nephews for Christmas, because I want to make sure they all had one.
I'm sorry, Chris, what was the title of that book?
The Magic of Thinking Big.
Thank you.
Amazing book. And it's all about mindset. And it gives really great examples of, when you're in a negative mindset. And I've seen this with people too. It's like, everything's terrible. This happens. And they break their elbow and they fall down the stairs, and then the car, breaks down. And like, it just like all these things just keep happening to like the same one person. It's like, how does that happen? It's just because they're bringing on all that negativity. Have you ever seen that before with people?
Yes.
Story of my life, man. That's like when you get into those ruts, it's like, how many times can Mercury be in retrograde? Like it's all me, and I catch myself, and it's, it's important to, I guess, catch yourself and then keep yourself honest and get out of that mind frame.
And then you always stub in your pinky toe, and it's always hurt. Like, it's like, really, how does that happen? Like every time. So yeah, I mean, especially if you have a bad morning, if you're complaining a lot about the morning, the traffic, the this, the that, it just brings you into that whole day of negativity. So you really need to do your best to get out of that as fast as you can. Dakota and I talked about it before, and she's had some examples. I wish she was on here. But yes, hi. About like, okay, there's a car accident, right? And so she's late, or, she gets rerouted and she comes into work late. Her mindset is always, well, maybe I avoided another accident. Maybe I avoided being in something. Or like, she's gone to the supermarket before and then had to go back home and then have to go back out again because she forgot something. And it's like, okay, well, I might have missed something terrible that could have happened, that I could have been involved in. So I guess if you have that mindset, fall down the stairs and, you sprain your ankle. Well, at least I didn't break it. Right. That's all about mindset, or I didn't break my neck.
So Kristen, you were talking about how to get out of it. I just did in November, 4 days of Tony Robbins.
Yes.
And that's
He'll get you out of it.
how to get out of it.
Yeah. He's pretty positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what else
So
you
I'm
guys doing?
Things. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, no, go. Yes, please.
Yeah. First of all, Krista, I love your hair. Looks
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you.
The beauty out of the way. Here we go.
Thank you.
So I'm doing 2 things. One is I started to do coaching for the first time since, I've been an agent, which has
Awesome.
been, definitely eye-opening and really great. And then I'm reading The One Thing
Yes.
because I know at the beginning of the year, your slate is clean and I have 40 million ideas that I want to do. And I'm here and there and here. And this is really just kind of narrowing my focus on, let's focus on the one thing and then build on that. So that's been a big help.
Awesome.
As well.
Yeah, that's a great book. Who are you coaching with?
Oh Jesus, how's that? It's been 3 weeks. I know.
Is it through KW, Judy?
Yes, it's
Or is it with Maps?
no, it's with KW, the the lady that,
Judy
Judy.
Brown.
Judy.
oh my God, yeah, maybe because that's my sister's name. It just went out of my
Yeah,
head.
okay. All right, good. So that's going well for you?
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it, especially, I'll do a little sales pitch, but, I know some coaches are like $1,000 a month and I'm not at that point. And I always joke around and say, if I'm going to pay somebody $1,000 a month, there's going to be more to it. They're going to cook for me or whatever. But this one is, they'll just charge. It's just like when you first started Keller Williams, they do the 10% of whatever deal that you make, and you're committed to up to 6 months. And that's, realistic for me. And then the bonus, you get a coach, so which is great. And you get 1-to-1 1 week and then a little group the next week. And
Perfect.
so that's, if you're thinking about going on the coaching road, it's pretty realistic.
Awesome. Yeah, and you don't have to pay till you have a closing, so that's great. So it's not out of pocket costs. And the other thing too is that she's, it's not like she's a family member. It's somebody looking at you from the outside in. So when you do have that negative mindset or whatnot, she can look at it from a different angle and, ask you questions or talk to you about, another way of looking at things. So it's always good to have those people. What
I have
else?
one, Kristen.
Yes.
So, hi guys, good morning.
Hi.
A fun little thing that I do, well, I don't know if anyone's read the book Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. It's really great and it is tailored towards women, but it's still, impactful, insightful, and really empowering. But she has this journal and it's called a Start Today journal. There are more masculine covers as well for the gentlemen. But really, she goes through the practice in the beginning. There's even videos on how to do it. And what you go through is every single day, like whether you keep it at your desk in the morning or you do it with your coffee, it's really, really quick. But you go through and you say, today I'm grateful for, and it's meant to be 5 things that are like not, super ambiguous. So it's not like I'm grateful for my health, like I'm grateful, whatever. It would be like, I'm grateful that my Dyson hair straightener is amazing. Like very specific things that make you smile every single day. And so you go through the practice of writing the 5, then there's space underneath and it's 10 dreams I made happen. So it's a 10-year look forward, I guess, at what your 10 dreams are, that within these 10 years, they would have already happened. So you write them down as if they've already happened. So like mine is, I've paid off all of my school loans. I own a second home on Winnipesaukee. So all of these different things so that every day you get in this mindset of like, these are the things I'm going to make happen. And it just kind of gives you that little like boost of positivity first thing in the morning so that you feel good, and then you can look back on it too. So as you accomplish those dreams, and it just gives you, again, that boost of like, look what I did for myself, and you can keep it and look back at it and smile and feel good. And that's my little, mindset trick for the mornings to get myself going.
Right. And how can you be in a bad mood if you're reading all these great things and all these positive things about you and your life and what you want to accomplish, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they have tons of, that's a great, the gratitude journals. Go on Amazon, there's a gazillion of them.
Mm-hmm.
And, just like in Bold, where we were supposed to journal, who took Bold? Right? Remember journaling? I don't know if you did it the whole 8 weeks, but, it's really cool to be when you start doing it. And it is a positive, it's a positive, spin on, your day. But you could just do a regular notebook, just buy something like this and write in it if you want to, or, the gratitude journals, a lot of them have like the 5 things, like it'll say, what are you grateful for, or what do you want to accomplish or whatever. Just depends on if you want something where it like will guide you or ask you questions. There's one that I have, it's the 5 minute more. Can you tell I haven't used it yet? 5 minute gratitude or 10-minute morning thing or something. I don't know. It's I don't know. I haven't used it yet. I know. I have it next to my bedside going, I'm gonna write in it, and I haven't done it yet. But you just motivated me now to get the pen and do it. All right. So gratitude journals is great. Books, like positive books. YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, as probably most of you know. It's just my name. There's two of them because one was with my, my other email, but the one that has more videos, that one, go on there and there's a section in there called Mindset and Motivation. And there are awesome videos in there. So every time I found like a really awesome video, like about mindset, there's like sports ones. There's one with like Tom Brady. It's not like just fluff stuff. It's like serious, like mindset things. But you can go on there and watch videos if you'd like. They're really cool. What else? Podcasts? Anybody listen to any podcasts that are mindset related? Sam?
There's again, it's more like female inclined, but the Boss Babe podcast, the name I don't love, but it's cute. And it's also, they go through a lot of mindset things, but also, goals that you can set for yourself in regards to your marketing and your social media and your brand and all sorts of things like that. And it's really, it's a good way to get good ideas too, and how to be, fresh and edgy and not bored with yourself. That's a really good one that keeps me motivated.
Okay, awesome. What else?
I've been watching this one, Pivot Shift Ahead.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys are in that one, but it's just short little morning. It's a group for Keller Williams, and there's some good ideas in there, and you don't have to be there exactly at the right time. You can be on the Zoom call, or you can just watch it on Facebook. And it's just different agents from around the country, and they just throw out really good ideas and kind of motivate you. There's a little bit of, something good people are telling their accomplishments. And sometimes we need that when everybody's a little bit negative. So I like to watch those. They're early in the morning, or you can watch them anytime, really.
Yeah. John Maxwell has Minute with Maxwell. Does anybody get those emails every morning? John Maxwell.
I know him.
What's that?
I know who he is, but I
Yeah.
haven't that one.
Yeah, you can sign up for his Minute with Maxwell, and you can listen to those every morning. He'll have like a little short video. Melissa, what about Mo Anderson? She still do that? Remember we signed up for that?
Yeah, you know what, she doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
And I think her website is probably not all that active anymore. Her role within KW has shifted.
Yeah.
You look back on some of the books that she's written and the video series that she's rolled out from time to time. They're just amazing. I look up on my bookshelf. Yeah, I have it. A Joy-Filled Life that Mo had written. It was the last book she published, and she did a tour. And I did go to see her. And there's just something about her presence and the way that she delivers her message. She speaks very slowly and meaningfully and impactfully with her Southern drawl. And she's just like someone who you can't help but love, because you know that she truly loves you and the human being that you are. She's just an amazing individual. I think for me, talking about coaching was super important for me. I got my life back when I went through a coaching program. But I'm a big believer in you have to use the power of the morning to get your day, to get your head on right for the day, basically. So Bill Stone and I happened to be talking about this last night as we were both sort of wrapping up at the office, that I have to take the morning to do what I need to do for myself, like not as the realtor, but just as me, Missy, the person who I know I am and I need to nurture, because when I lose that, I go off the rails and it's really ugly. So truly, I mean, my morning routine is 3 hours long, and that's stupid long. But that's everything that I need to do. That's opening my eyes, getting out of my bed and putting my feet on the ground, having a glass of water and having a workout, of, going for a walk or doing some yoga, and then meditating, and then eating something. I have to eat in the morning. Otherwise I'm an animal. I have to eat in the morning. You don't want to meet me in a dark alley if I haven't had a breakfast. And then that way I've taken care of myself, and I've got the energy and the mindset of, okay, great. Now I can go and take care of everybody else who, needs my help today, because this is the kind of life that I created for myself. I'm a realtor. I'm in a service business. I'm a Rotarian. That's a service organization. And, I'm also part of a family, and I have a lot of friends who I care about and love very much and love to nurture and spend time with them. So there you go. If I can get myself ready in the morning, I'm at my best for everybody else and every other thing that I need to do for the day.
Did you start doing that when the Miracle Morning book came out, or have you been doing that even prior to that?
I'd been doing that prior to the Miracle Morning, not really realizing what I was doing. I used to call it like, oh, I'm just avoiding. I'm avoiding going to work today because I want to do all these things that I need to do for myself. But then I realized, well, why would I avoid them? Because they really make me the best that I can be for every day. So I'm going to do this in the reverse direction of what KW tells us. I take care of me in the morning, and then I take care of everybody else starting at about 11 o'clock. So
that's the morning routines. I know anyone you talk to that's very successful has a morning routine, right? In that Miracle Morning book, they have it for salespeople, they have it for entrepreneurs, they have a ton of them. Hal Elrod wrote them. They're really good. They're really good. Does anyone else have a morning routine that you can share with us on what you do? Corey's nodding.
Story, just as an aside real quick, the first time I ever heard Kristen Bucher's angelic voice was at a Bold, like one of the first class for Bold. Missy brought me like a million years ago. Kristen's sitting behind me. This was before she even became the TL. And so the Bold person, the coach there at the front of the room, talked about 5 o'clock in the morning being like the millionaire's hour. And Kristen, you were probably behind, you were sitting next to probably Nicole or something. And you were like, you'll never see me up at 5 a.m., you know? And now here you are talking about the Miracle Morning book and all that stuff, you know, like.
I went to so we had them in the market center. Ryan came in and taught that. But actually, now that you mention it, that Bold, and I'm trying to think of, it was a woman that was the Bold coach. She took my phone because I said, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get up at 5. And she took my phone and wrote, get out of bed something.
Yeah.
Now, no, it was, I don't know, she said some swear word or something, but so she set my alarm on my phone so for 5 o'clock every morning for it to wake me up. I did it for about 2 weeks. It was great. I should have done it the whole 8 weeks, but I did it for like 2 weeks. It was so good because by 7 o'clock, I was like, it's only 7? Like, isn't it like 7 at night? You know, you get so much done in the morning.
absolutely.
I mean, I'm getting up a lot earlier than I used to. Let's put it that way. So I'm working towards it.
I think we all are.
Yeah. You need an accountability partner, I think, for that too. You know, somebody you can call in the morning and be like, hey, I'm up, you know, or go for a walk with them. Corey, what do you do?
Like in general, I sell real estate.
Yeah.
So I guess my morning routine's not super important. It's definitely been different this year, just because before it was trying to get the kids out the door and all that sort of stuff. But, you know, just to me, honestly, like, and anyone who knows me, a big deal is like, I just see my kids in the morning before I'm like running out the door and getting nuts is a big deal for me. You know, so just getting them set up with all, you know, breakfast and, you know, joking with them like that for me puts my head right for the day. When I feel like I'm waking up and I'm just getting right to it and everything's nuts, like that's when I feel like just scrambled for the day. Like I just feel like nothing, like I don't really know what's going on. The other part for me is like leverage. Like leverage is a big mindset thing for me because I know that I have people taking care of things that I'm not really good at. And so I know when I wake up, I know what I'm doing. Like I know what my role is for the day. And it's nice to know that, like, I don't know if anyone else feels the same way, but when you just feel so overwhelmed, I think that's when you can start to spiral, you know, and you're like, oh, I got to do this. I got to post this. I got to, you know, I got to meet this person. You're like, I only have, you know, 12 hours to get this done today. And I need 18. So having some leverage has been a big thing for me this year. And that has led to me being able to take more time for myself. Like last year I played just a ton of golf. And honestly, that helped keep my mind right. You know, it's just something that is distracting. I'm outside, you know, I'm with some friends and having a good time, and that stuff for me like helps me just stay fresh. You know, knowing that I have some stuff outside of work to keep me staying fresh. You know, and then when those tough times come, it's easier to kind of get out of it than it is to, you know, you can allow yourself an hour or two to feel sorry for yourself. And then you're like, okay, I got to get back to it. So that's my stuff.
Awesome. So in this market, it's pretty crazy, right? Lack of inventory. So it's like, okay, I need listings, or, you know, you're working with buyers and you're writing offers and offers and offers, and they're getting denied, you know, how do how do you get out of that? And I mean, obviously you're going to have a negative mindset, right? Every offer I write, we get rejected. What am I doing? How do you get out of that mindset? It's tough.
Funny you should ask.
Tell me, Bill.
Listen, we all have our up days and down days. Don't we, Bob and Sam?
Yes,
Do you
sir,
agree?
we do.
Occasionally.
We
So-
can agree.
Yeah, so I had one of those days dealing with a buyer yesterday. But I have to say, Missy, that few minutes at the end of the day before I left, just talking with you, believe it or not, was very inspirational for me as I walked out the door. Yeah. So, sometimes we can just be dealing with some difficult situations that just don't go our way. And then all of a sudden this mindset comes about and envelops us. But to try to not feed into that too much, I think having a good core of connections around you, I think is super important. And example was, having Missy there to finish my day to kind of pull me out of that negative mindset.
I'm glad I could help you, my friend.
Yeah.
Missy, what did you say to him? We're all dying to know.
Honestly, he just said, hey, so, how you doing? And I know I've known Bill a long time, and I could kind of see like he was so ready to go home yesterday. And I didn't cry, but I was just like, oh, Bill's ready to go home. And I don't know, somehow we got on the topic of, what's your morning routine like? And when I told him my routine was 3 hours long, his jaw practically hit the floor. But then we talked about, what I used those 3 hours to do. He reacted kind of interested, in terms of expressing like, wow, I should do that for myself. At least that's the impression I got. We caught up, how with the holidays, I learned he was going home to have dinner with his son. His son was coming home to visit. And that's the stuff we really need to do right now. I mean, think about it. So we're talking about the fact that there's no inventory. And if we're working with buyers, our offers are being rejected or beaten out. Has there ever been a more important time in your life? I know there hasn't been in my life, where we've really needed to just take care of each other. And that starts with taking care of ourselves first. I've had a lot of extra time this year, I should say last year, yet I've never worked harder to sort of, regroup and stay focused. And I can't imagine how I could have gotten through this past year in real estate and still had a very successful year if I weren't here at KW with this amazing network, this family of people who genuinely care about each other. Now, that was one reason why I decided to go back onto the ALC for this year, because I knew that this would help me to reconnect with those who are most influential in my everyday life at the office. And what's that saying? I don't know who wrote the book, but it's, you are the sum of the 5 people closest to you. That is
the 5 people you hang around with. Yep.
Yeah. And that's so true. And I especially have taken so much inspiration from all of you, this past year. And the majority of my 5 right here on this call, and, I'm married and I'm a family member, but it's important that we have each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's really
important. Yeah, and learn, John Maxwell says, be the dumbest person in the room. Like, if you're the smartest person in the room, get out. Right?
No, I'm never worried about that.
Who was that at Mega? Who was with me at Mega Camp with that? Remember? Who went? Who was there? Anyone? Does anyone remember that?
No.
When he came to talk at Mega Camp? No? Or family reunion? I can't remember which one it was. Yeah, that's the thing. You want to learn from people, right? Don't be the smartest one.
Yeah. You were talking too, Kristen, about, when things aren't going your way, how do you get out of it? And I really think that that's where habit or having a process that you trust in, really helps, because, you're going to go through some streaks where, you go 5 for 5 with your listings or buyer presentations and nail all of them and close all of them. And then you're going to go 0 for 10, and then you're going to go 3 for 3. And it just happens that way. You're not going to get a hit in every one of your at bats, but at the end of the day, if you're in front of enough people, that's going to turn, if you know what your process is, that that's going to turn into X number of transactions, that's going to turn into X number of closings. You know, if you write X number of offers with good buyers who are reasonable, you know, if you write enough are going to get accepted. You know, just trust in the process, I think, is really important too.
Mhm.
And if you don't have that, or you don't even know what, you know, I really mean by when I say that, that's a big issue that I think, you know, we should talk to people about.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Listen, to your point about, you know, how do you stay positive if your offers are being rejected? I've tried to flip the conversation in my own mind in that it's an opportunity for me to spend more time with my buyer clients than I have needed to in the past. So I've gotten to know them better. You know, we have a better rapport with each other, a more familiar rapport with each other. And I just talk to them a lot about, okay, so, you know, what do you see happening here? Will you be heartbroken if you don't get this property? Let's talk about how much you want to offer. Let's terms that are best for the seller based on, you know, what the seller's agent has had to say. So it makes for stronger relationships if you flip the conversation in your own mind. And I work solely by referral, so for me, that's been a real boon. And I've already positioned myself for a really successful 21, and we're only 5 days into the year. So I feel really good about it.
And isn't this the way that the market is now helping you with your scripts more? Helping you write better and stronger offers?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Buyer consultations, more important now to set expectations. So, you know, practicing those more. So it's going to help you be stronger in your business so that as you move forward, you're just going to get better and better.
Right.
Yeah. You know, and that's why it's a big, I mean, it's important to, you know, I'm a big believer of being in the office, as probably you all know. I love coming in here. I'm like, yeah, let's go to the office. You know, be around people. You know, I know it's different with COVID and, you know, maybe people don't want to come in because of that. And I totally get it. But, you know, be around people, or at least talk to different agents, you know, and just, you know, hear what they're doing, ask their opinions, you know, even if you know the answer, you know, you could say, hey, listen, this, and this, what would you do? Or, you know, would you have any other suggestions? You know, Dakota came in here yesterday with like 5 offers and was like, hey, you know, I have an idea. What do you think? Here are my offers. These are who the agents are. This is what it is. And we talked it out, you know. Sometimes it's just good to have that.
Absolutely.
You know, other opinion, people to talk to.
And where else are we going to get that?
Right.
Where?
Right.
You need, you need that. I mean, that's primarily the reason that I'm in coaching,
Mm-hmm.
you know, is because you absolutely need that. If you're by yourself, if you work by yourself, you don't know what you don't know. And man, there's a lot of knowledge and experience in, not just in your office, but even just the handful of realtors you respect most.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's just, we could all learn so much from each other. And for some reason, I mean, only Keller Williams really does that too, by the way.
Yeah.
You'll never see this kind of a conversation with a RE/MAX, with, you know, between a couple of different RE/MAX offices ever, you know. It's, you know, they'll have their sales trainings and that sort of stuff for the regular office meetings, but you'll never see something like this, or the classes that KW puts on, or even that your, you know, Showcase and Signature Properties puts on.
Mm-hmm.
We're an office of 160 something agents in Braintree. So why on earth wouldn't you tap into that sort of a resource? You know, why go it alone?
Yeah, I mean, this is why we do these things. I mean, this is why we have a lot of classes on the calendar, right? For you guys to meet each other and learn from each other, and build those relationships. I mean, you know, when I'm like aggravated, I'll call, some of you know, I'll call you like, and freak out. And then we talk about it. I'm like, okay, bye, thanks. Get it over with. Here, I just have to call you to like freak out about it so I can get it off my mind. You know, sometimes you just need to do that. And everyone's laughing, the people that know that I call them crazy person. Whatever, you all know. No secrets. So, you know, I mean, sometimes you just need that, you know, just to kind of get past it so you can move on and it doesn't ruin your whole day or whole week. You know, take advantage, be learning based. I don't know if did anyone get I don't know if I just got it because I used to be in coaching, or if everybody got it, but it was the end of the year from MAPS Coaching. there was a bunch of free coaching videos from MAPS. Did anyone get that email
I did.
or read
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I went on some of them. Wow. They were amazing. They were amazing.
Mhm.
Like I wrote so many notes. I just typed them all up yesterday. They were really great. And it just pumps you up and gets you in a better mindset just because they had great ideas and great business scripts or whatever it was. It was just so inspirational that it just pumped you. It pumped me up. I don't know if you guys are into that stuff, but take advantage of these classes and these groups. I mean, like Christine said, that pivot class, pivot ahead, whatever on Facebook. Yeah. I mean, you can go on that. They show videos all the time, and then they do something every morning that Christine listens to, and that works for her. The Wealth Building 2.0, we'll talk about this later, but that's with Mark King. That pumps you up. I mean, just the stuff he says is like, wow, these people are like millionaires. Listen to them.
Right.
Yeah. What else?
I think keeping yourself, I guess getting, being honest with yourself, I think is really important too. I mean, like you talked about, you alluded to at the beginning, Kristen, you can have the best mindset in the world. It can be one of those realtors whose idea of prospecting is waking up, getting dressed in your best suit, putting a phone that isn't even on to your ear while somebody takes a picture of you, and then you post it on social media. That's not prospecting, right? So we have the mindset waking up and I'm going to do this and that's going to make me a great realtor, but it doesn't, right? So we have to be honest with ourselves that we're really putting in the work, and we can either do that with, by being coached, or even for a lot of us. I mean, I love the bold laws, and those bold laws, man, the more you think about it, they're real. They're not throwaway laws. They're really not. And I think those bold laws really will help keep us all accountable. If you're complaining, there's a bold law for that, right?
What is it?
Thinking big enough, complaining equals garbage magnet, right?
Yep.
If you're not thinking big enough, there's a bold law for that. There's just a bold law for everything, and I think that's really important. Radius's core values too: customer obsessed, team inspired, kind of curious, character matters, and results.
He's reading them off the wall.
I have them on the wall.
Whatever you gotta do, it's all good.
And so everything we do is based off of those core values too. So if I'm not getting out of bed in the morning, is that team inspired? I'm letting my team down, right? If I'm not getting out of bed, is that customer obsessed? I'm letting my clients down. All those kinds of things. Kind of curious. If I'm not looking into guidelines and seeing what new is coming down the pipe, I'm letting everybody down. That's not kind of curious. So the bold laws, Radius's core values, those sorts of things, they just are there to keep us accountable,
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I'm surprised no one mentioned this. What about affirmations? Anybody doing that? No.
I do it. I feel like such a dork when I say that, but honestly, I have to, and I'll be honest with the people on the call. I mean, I didn't come from a very good background at all growing up, and my life every single day is full of affirmations. It is, even when I'm, talking right now, in the back of my mind, there's that voice that's saying, dude, you're full of it. They all know you're full of it, whatever. Nobody wants to hear from you, and, I have to basically, it's affirmation city in my head all day. It's that ping pong ball. My affirmation angel is firing the ping pong ball back to the devil on my shoulder. The devil on my shoulder fires it back,
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, you just made me think of an example. So when I was thinking about stepping down from the team leader role, I had a couple people that I was talking to about it because I want to make sure I was like making the right decision and, having someone to bounce ideas off of or whatever. And, my biggest thing was I was nervous to get back into production. I'm like, what if I can't do it? What if I can't sell enough anymore? That was my biggest thing. And, my friends that I talked to, like, are you crazy? What is wrong with you? I'm like, I know I can do it. Like, I've done it before. And yet there's like this little thing in my head right here that's like, oh my God, what if you can't? But like logically, like I could sit there and go, I know what to do. I've done it before. Like, what are you worried about? Because I went from you getting your paycheck every 2 weeks to now whenever I have a closing, right? So to make that transition back after 5 years, I'm like, am I gonna be able to do it? Because now I have double the expenses that I did when I was selling the first time. Now I have 2 mortgages and 2 cable bills and 2 electric bills, you know, and all that stuff now. So I was so like wrapped up about that, but that little tiny piece of my head is like, I don't know. And it was tough, you know, and I got good advice from a friend of mine, and I'm like, all right, let's just do it. And honestly, I gave my notice on a Monday. On Wednesday, I got a call, come list me, from a previous client that I sold 5 years prior, like before I was the TL. And then on Friday, I got another call from another client to come list me. I hadn't even made a phone call yet. It was crazy. So, and again, I'm not saying like, oh, you know, if you think about it, it's gonna, you know, you're gonna get phone calls, right? But, you know, you have to have some mindset. You have to give, you know, put faith in yourself too. But there's always that little nagging thing. You know, it's the monkey, right? From Bold, right? We used to call it the drunk monkey. Now it's, what is it now?
Hi, monkey.
Slightly buzzed monkey.
They don't call it drunk monkey anymore. Anyone know what it is?
Monkey brain? Monkey mind.
Monkey mind. Yeah,
Monkey
that's right.
mind.
They don't have a monkey mind. Yep.
I think they might be
Steve, when we
removing
took our first bowl, we were on the sober monkeys team. Yeah, we were the sober monkeys. We try to switch that around. But yeah, we all have that in our head. It's just a matter of like how to quiet it down.
One thing that works really well for me, Kristen, along the lines of what if I can't do it? What if I can't do it?
Yeah.
I work really hard to have closings right after my cap resets.
Yeah.
And I'm really lucky that I'm a very linear thinker. So I'm really lucky, at least I think I'm lucky, that my cap is January 1. So that works for me in terms of year end, new caps on January 1. If I have a closing or closings right away in the month of January, I feel great about myself. Mm-hmm. So it's a matter of just, keeping the pipeline full, which even after all these years I've been working in real estate, I mean, my pipeline is full, but still it sort of, waxes and wanes. There are crests, there are troughs. So I just try to focus on, what can I do to maintain all this? But I have that anxiety too, after all these years, when my cap resets every January 1, oh God, I'm back to, having to pay 36% of my commissions now. And, what if I can't, what if I don't cap till, November, but you just have to stop listening to that. And you have to trust in the process that, works for you. And you do have to believe, because if you don't, you're fooling yourself. You can't improve your results if you're not changing what you do. And that's one of the bold laws. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. So you have to change something. You have to. And if you're not willing to change it, then you can't be surprised at the end of the year when your results haven't been any different, or even if they're less than they were the prior year.
And that's all about having a plan, right?
Yeah.
If you don't write it down, if you don't have a plan, then how are you going to follow it? How are you going to know if you're succeeding at it or not?
Right.
Most of us as real estate agents, we just do. Mm-hmm. And we don't even know like what our return investment is. Are we hitting our goals? Oh, you just say, I want to make $100,000. Okay, well, what does that mean? How many closings do you have to have? I don't know. I just want to make $100,000. Well, great. Well, you're not going to know till the end of the year. Right. If you never look at it to see like by June, have I made 50,000 yet or not? If you don't know, how are you going to, gauge it? So just to wing it is not going to help. And then that's where I think a lot of the negative mindset can come in when you haven't had a closing in so many months or whatever, you're not where you want to be. And then now it's all negative, and now it's harder to get out of that, because you've already lost so much time. And I think that's where like an accountability partner will, help too.
Yeah.
And that's where I think too, you're talking about the time and the time you've lost. Whether it's the beginning of the year, beginning of the quarter, beginning of the month, beginning of the week, whatever it is, they're all arbitrary time frames, right? So we can start working towards our goal at any time. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of taking that first small step, and when you're business planning, what your big goal is, and you start there and you work your way back toward, here's what I want to do for 2021. but then I work my way back down all the way towards, here's what I'm doing every, Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, to get there, that first small step. I know I want to finish the marathon, but you got to take that first step out of the start gate to finish a marathon, and take all those steps in between to get you there. And that's why I think knowing what the big goal is, and then working your way backwards to knowing what each small step is going to have to look like to get you to that big goal is really important, because otherwise you just don't know where to start. I want to make 100 grand. All right, great. Where do you start?
Yeah.
Start to that first phone call that says no, and then you work your way on to the next one.
Yeah. And celebrate the wins and ride the win wave. You know what I mean? Like when you have a closing, and it's like, yeah, I had a closing, or, don't stop, or, oh, I have a client. I finally have a buyer client or whatever. Great. Go get another one. Don't just work with them and then have a closing, because that's when you're like, how our paycheck goes like this in real estate? Not everybody's, but right. That's what they say. A lot of people do that because they work with their client, they get paid, yay. And then now they got to start all over again because they don't have any clients and they got to work with their wife, yay. Ugh, right. So don't just work with one client and then have it close and go, okay. No, get more, ride the wave, then you'll have less of a negative mindset if you're busy and you're happy doing what you're doing.
And utilize the resources that we have here at Keller Williams too. Bob, that's a great point that you brought up. We have the 411, we have the GPS, we have these resources that you can write this all down and start with your big goal, and you break it down into your yearly goal, and then you break it down into your monthly goal, and then you break it down into your weekly goal. So it will allow you to kind of like really take you step by step through the process to get to your overall goal. And then also use these tracking sheets that we have so that you're making sure that you're setting your goals, you're writing your goals in, and then tracking towards reaching those goals. Because I think everybody can relate to the fact that they love to check off that they've accomplished what they were looking to accomplish that year or accomplish that week, or, just be able to see it visually in front of you. It means a lot. So utilize those resources. And if you don't know where those resources are, reach out to myself or staff or leadership, and we're happy to share it with you.
Yeah. And start with small wins too. And I know I feel like a broken record sometimes because you're probably all like, I know you told me that before. But one time at family reunion, see what I did there? Remember that movie? Anyways, camp, right? Okay. One time at family reunion. If you had your mics off, you would all laugh and it would be fun, but everyone's on mute. Anyways, so, there was a time management class. And, everybody's like, oh, okay, lead gen 3 hours a day, make, 20 contacts a day. And it's so overwhelming and none of us want to do it. Let's face it. I mean, who loves doing that? Anyone? Raise your hand. All right. Alicia loves making 20 calls a day. Great. Awesome. And that's great. Fantastic. And get to that point. But don't set a goal where you're like, okay, I'm going to make 20 calls today when yesterday or the week before you hadn't made one. Because what's going to happen is when that day is over, you're going to feel defeated and then you're not going to want to do it the next day. And then again, you get into that negative mindset. So start small. I am going to make one contact today. And do that for a week. Hey, it's more than what you made last week, right? And then you'll have a win. Yay, I did it. Next week. Next day, yay, I did it, and then you can start building up from there. Don't just put all these big things on that you're not going to do. Bill's my accountability partner. I am horrified to talk to him on Friday because I'm supposed to go to I put on my thing that I was going to go to the gym once a week. I hate doing that, by the way. So when I was talking to him on the phone last week, I'm like, I'm going to go twice. He goes, well, on the thing you sent me, you wrote one. I go, yeah, but I'm going to go twice. I got to hurry up and go twice before Friday, or I have to tell him that I didn't do it. Because if I didn't have to tell him, I wouldn't care.
You took a huge step by finding where the gym is.
we walked to the gym, so I know how to get in. But just start small. If I said, oh, I'm going to go to the gym 7 days this week, never happening. Never. I don't care how positive I am, not going to happen. So why do that? Because it's just going to get you in a negative mindset. So start small and build from there.
And Bill's tough to have as an accountability partner, isn't he? Like, he's not the kind of guy that's going to scream at you or anything. He's just going to look at you or
It's going to be disappointed.
he's going to be
worst.
disappointed. Yeah, I'm not mad at you, Kristen. You're better than this. I'm just disappointed.
It's going to be terrible.
I've been practicing in my mirror my disgusted look.
Yep.
Tip for the group, don't choose someone who's very compliant to be your accountability partner. It's like,
Especially if you're not compliant, right?
you don't want me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
funny.
What else?
I think part of the success too, and changing just the concept of change, change how you look at things, and the things you look at begin to change. Or if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. It does require like some leap of faith to just give it over to whatever you're willing to change. Whether you're going to hire an assistant, you've got to give up control of every little minute thing that they do. Or if you're going to, change how you structure your day to, plan all your work and then work your plan, you got to give it up, and you have to do it for a little bit of time, which turns into a lot of time, because you need time on the task over time to then measure your results. So I remember that was one of the hardest things I ever had to do in my coaching program was, okay, look at, what do you want your number of transactions to be for the year? What does that mean for the month? What does that mean for the week? What does that mean for the day? And I had to figure out, okay, I need 2 to 3 new client consults a week, whether they're buyers or sellers. I've got an 80% close ratio. That means I'll close between, 2.5 and 3.5 transactions a month, and that gets me to my goal. If you break it down, then you have to pressure yourself to get those tasks done during the day. But if you just spend the time on it and give over to what you need to do, like remove your emotion and remove your logic from it, and then just dive in and do what you need to do to have those conversations during the day. So, Bob, you're really good at that. You have 12 meaningful conversations a day, right?
Yeah, that's my goal. And
Yeah,
it's
so
not
12.
right.
And think of, you don't speak to 12 people a day. You speak to like 1,200 people a day, or like 20 people a day. So before noontime, you've already ticked that box. And then your afternoons are yours on those rare days when you have 20 minutes to yourself. And it makes you feel good about the day you've just had, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And add value to people's lives.
Absolutely.
That makes you feel good, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, it makes me feel good.
Makes me feel great.
Yeah.
Truly, especially when you're coming from contribution, if you have commission breath and, you have that list in front of you and it's your job to go out there and hunt for the next listing or buyer, people get that sense. And of course, the conversations aren't going to go the same way. Yeah, you're going to close in deals if you call enough people, but it's not going to be the same sort of thing. But if you're coming from contribution and, calling people because you care and you're looking to see if they have, a need that you can help with and address, then man, you're doing good work, It makes it a little easier from a mindset perspective.
And getting back to what Missy said too, like I have a spreadsheet. If anybody wants me to help them with their economic model, I'm happy to do that. You just have to decide how much money you want to net for the year, what your expenses are. We can do it with or without taxes. So we can do your net before or after taxes. And it will give you a plan of how many appointments you need for the month and how many closings you need to have for the month. So at least you'll know. Instead of saying, oh, I need 36 closings this year and focus on the number 36, focus on the number 2, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you also need to know your average price point based on what you did last year. I can help you with that. But if anybody wants to do that, just shoot me an email and I'm happy to do that with you, with you.
One thing about mindset too, I think is really important. If we're coming into this thinking that we're making some changes in either our life or our business, anytime you have changes, you're going to have new problems that you didn't have before, right? And it's going to take a long time to figure out how to deal with those problems while you're still chasing your goal, right? That's all part of it. We think about our, more transactions, for example, more appointments, more phone calls, more prospecting. But through that, you're going to have more problems too, and different problems. So we have to figure out we have to continue to do those activities to get us towards our goal, but at the same time, still sort of, you know, still embrace those problems, and not lose hope and not say, this is just too hard, I'm going to stop, you know. I, in the chat box here, just included a link to a short YouTube clip with a guy named Jocko Willink, who's a big Navy SEALs commander in Iraq, and he's actually a local guy from, I think he grew up in Connecticut, and he has one of the best books on leadership I've ever read, Extreme Ownership. But this quick 2-minute video clip is his way of looking at problems when they come up. And you talk about mindset, it's awesome. It's 2 minutes, YouTube, it's in the chat box here. Take a peek at it and share it with people. I share that all the time.
Yeah, Gary Keller recommended that book. He gave it to all the MAPS coaches, and anyone in MAPS, we got that book.
Yeah, it's a great book. I actually, one of my best friends is a guy who was a head baseball coach at Hanover High School. And I mentioned that book to him a couple of years ago, and he now reads it with his captains as a book club thing in the off season. It's just, it's awesome. It's really, really, it's a great book. Very easy read.
Yeah, I think reading about something that you're passionate about or that you want to focus on, you know, can really get you in a good mindset when you're learning, right? When you're getting good advice, when you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So that's a good idea, you know, just kind of get you in that mind frame of, I can do this. All right, let me follow this model and do it.
Yeah.
Anybody have any challenges with their mindset that you want to admit? If you have any.
You know, I'll throw it out there too. I know I'm doing a lot of talking, but people who, you know, we have people in our lives who are talking to us too. So not only do we have our internal drunk monkey, but we have, you know, people in our lives that might tell us that that wouldn't work for you for whatever reason, you know? And, you know, that's another one where affirmations, you just need to know that, you know, you're chasing a bigger dream, and there's nothing that makes a top producer special, except maybe they've, you know, their processes are down, their habits are a little bit more defined and consistent. But I think mindset's really important to block out and ignore a lot of what we're hearing externally too.
Yeah, who you hanging out with.
Yeah.
You know, and if people are always around you and they're always negative, get away.
Hang out with someone else.
Yeah, because it's going to bring you down, you know?
Get away.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you can't get away from the family members. I mean, you can, but, you know.
And that's where affirmations help you need it though. Because otherwise you get sucked right in.
Yeah, or have those, you know, have that, have conversations with them. Hey, listen, like, I want to be in a positive mindset. You know, this is what I do for a living, or these are my goals or whatever. Like, I love you, but can you just not complain around me anymore? You know, I need to focus on, you know, what I have to, and, you know, your negativity is bringing me down, and just have those conversations. Not everyone can handle those conversations, especially for people that aren't at Keller Williams. They're not trained like we are. And I don't know if any of you notice this at all with, you know, your partners at home or whatever. You know, it's different. Especially if you're learning based and you take advantage of everything, you go to these classes, our mindset is not the same as, like, let's say, our family members, you know? I mean, I've talked to my husband, I'll say something, he's like, Kristen, he goes, I don't do that at work all day. Like, I go to work, I do my thing, whatever. Like, we don't have these conversations. Like, he's not around it. And it's true, you know, like, you know, I'm all about like investing and saving for retirement now. And I'm just like super hyper focused on it, as you probably all can tell. And then I'm like at home going, why doesn't he want to be like excited about this? Like, I don't even say anything to him. It's like, why isn't he asking me about like this or want to do it or whatever? But it's not, it's me. It's not him. He doesn't know any better. I need to go and say, hey, listen, like, do you want to do this? I mean, the difference with my husband, he's so laid back. He's like, whatever, buy whatever you want. I don't care. Like, he's just like that. Like, he doesn't have to like see anything or do anything. He's just like, all right, if you want me to sign something, I will. But, you know, I really need to bring him in to what I'm doing, or I'm just going to get aggravated that he's not doing anything or contributing to it. So that's on me. Right. So our family members are not in it like we are. They didn't go to Bold. They don't know the bold laws. They don't read the books that we read probably. They don't watch the videos we watch. They don't go to the classes that we go to. So just something to think about. I don't know why I brought that up, but I did. Anyways. Awesome.
Dan's on the other line right now. Hi, Dan.
He knows. What else? So, all right.
Important.
Anybody else have anything else?
Just one thing real quick. I treat this like a job. I come in the morning, and even though I own my small company, I just act like I work for that company. Mm-hmm. And if I didn't do my job, I could end up being fired if I don't do it properly to make enough income to pay an assistant and a couple other people that work for me out in the field. So I better show up. Mm-hmm. I better get it done. And I better put the time in to make it work. Because if I don't do it properly, there's more than one person that's going to be affected by that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it has to be, and I have Bob talking about problems. I like to look at it as luxury problems, because when you get busier, the busier you get, the more issues you're going to have. Mm-hmm. But it's luxury problems because before you didn't have anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't have to wait at the bus station to get a ride somewhere. I can get in a decent car and go where I need to go. Yeah. I know I'm going to eat tomorrow. I'll probably, I've got enough money for a little bit of time if something were to happen that I couldn't come to work. Mm-hmm. But it's all been by working and planning ahead and having that insurance behind me that I've got the knowledge that I can put this together. And when you talk about contributions, telling other people, trying to help them out, understand when you get back to, because business is business. It's easy to talk business all the time. It's not always easy to open up to a group of people about how you might be emotionally at the time, especially like you said at the house. Sometimes it's easier to come into the office and it's a more friendly atmosphere. I'm not saying it's not friendly at home, but those emotional issues aren't always happening here at the office. Mm-hmm. It's business is pretty much surface talk. It just happens to be what you get identified with as time goes on, especially if you wear a vest every day that has your name on it. It says Keller Williams. Mm-hmm. Or you have your name out in front of something you might be building. That's what people perceive you as. Mm-hmm. But if you help out, like you've talked with Bill and Missy, Alicia, and others, and you open up a little bit, you'll be amazed at what you can learn from somebody else, and then how well you really have it. Mm-hmm. And as far as working out once a week, that's a great start.
Hey.
The hard part is I worked out yesterday, and by 9 o'clock, I finished a half a gallon of ice cream because I rationalized it. You cannot enjoy yourself a little bit at the same time.
That's why I don't do it, or I'll just eat more ice cream.
And you know that you got to give yourself a little bit of some fun. So.
Yeah. Right. Steve, I'm glad you brought that up, luxury problems, because he says that to me all the time. And it really, that mind, I don't know if you've ever seen, and I know we're going all the time, but there was like a cartoon where they had like, I don't know, guy in a really cool car, and someone's like, oh, I wish I had that. And then there was somebody on a motorcycle, I wish I had that. And someone like, do you remember what I'm saying? Like the person didn't have that, like they walked to everywhere, but they like, I wish I had a bicycle. Like they were happy to have a bicycle where other people want to have like a Ferrari. Anyone see that? If I find it, I'll post it. But, just be grateful for what you have, gratitude. And
preach, sister. That's it.
Yeah, and have a good mindset. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being on today. I really appreciate it. I hope that helped you a little bit some way, or, got you jazzed up or created a better mindset for you. And for those of you who, I'm going to pump my class up, but for those of you who are thinking about investing, our investors want to do it sometime in the future, jump on today at 11 o'clock.
Good job. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye, Jan.
Bye.
Bye.